My hands are trembling so violently I can barely hold my phone. The words on the screen blur together as tears of pure disbelief fill my eyes. Congratulations, Alice. You have been selected for the NASA Aerospace Engineer position. I read it again, and one more time because surely this has to be some kind of cruel joke, right? Quiet, invisible Alice getting hired by NASA? The same Alice who's been treated like the family failure for 26 years? But there it is, in official NASA letterhead, complete with start date and relocation details to Houston. 3 months. 3 months of hiding interview calls in bathroom stalls, making up elaborate lies about dentist appointments and grocery runs just to attend the grueling evaluation sessions. Psychological tests that probed every corner of my mind, technical interviews that left me drained for days, physical examinations that pushed my limits, all done in complete secrecy, because who in my family would believe that disappointing Alice could even dream of touching the stars? But I did it. I actually did it. The explosion of joy bubbling up inside my chest feels dangerous, like I might literally burst from the sheer magnitude of this moment. This is it. This is my chance to finally show everyone what I'm really made of. To prove that all those years of being overlooked, dismissed, and compared unfavourably to my perfect sister were just preparation for this exact moment. I practically float down the stairs, my heart hammering against my ribs as I prepare to deliver the most incredible news of my life. I can already picture their faces, the shock, the disbelief, maybe even a hint of pride for once. Maybe today, finally, I'll be the daughter they celebrate instead of the one they barely notice. But the moment I step into the living room, my soaring heart crashes straight into the ground. Jenny is standing there like she's posing for a magazine cover, waving what looks like an offer letter above her head while my parents all orbit around her like she just discovered the cure for cancer. Her perfectly styled blonde hair catches the afternoon light streaming through the windows, and that radiant smile she's wearing, the one that's opened every door she's ever wanted to walk through, is practically blinding. "Mom, Dad, I got the job at Morrison and Associates," she squeals, her voice hitting that pitch that somehow manages to sound both excited and perfectly controlled. Because of course it does. Jenny doesn't do anything that isn't perfectly controlled. My mother immediately pulls her into one of those dramatic embraces that belongs in a movie, complete with tears streaming down her cheeks. "Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. I knew they'd see what a special girl you are." My father's chest literally puffs out with a pride as he beams at his golden child. "Jenny, you're going places, sweetheart. Real places. This is just the beginning for you." And then, as if summoned by some cosmic sense of perfect timing designed to destroy my moment, his eyes land on me. That expression, oh, I know that expression so well. It's the one that's haunted me since childhood. A mixture of disappointment and pity wrapped up in paternal concern that never quite manages to hide the underlying frustration. "Alice," he says, and I can already feel the lecture coming before he even opens his mouth. "You need to learn something from your sister. Look at her drive, her ambition. Look at how she goes after what she wants and doesn't let anything stop her." The NASA email feels like it's literally burning a hole through my phone screen, begging to be shared, screaming to be celebrated. But something dark and twisted is unfurling in my chest as I watch this scene play out, this familiar theatre where Jenny is always the star, and I'm forever relegated to the cautionary tale. "Maybe, if you applied yourself half as much as Jenny does," my father continues, his voice taking on that tone he reserves for his greatest disappointments, "you wouldn't be stuck in that dead-end internship at the community centre. At your age, Alice, you should be thinking about your future seriously." My mother nods along, never taking her eyes off Jenny's offer letter like it's made of pure gold. "Your sister just got hired as a marketing coordinator at one of the most prestigious firms in town, Alice. Don't you think it's time you started following her example? A marketing coordinator at a local firm, in our tiny hometown where the biggest excitement is the annual Corn Festival. I'm standing here holding a NASA acceptance letter. NASA! And they're celebrating Jenny's entry-level marketing position like she just got elected President of the United States. The irony is so sharp it could cut glass, and suddenly something inside me snaps with an almost audible crack. Not today. After 26 years of being the family disappointment, after 26 years of living in Jenny's perfectly manicured shadow, after 26 years of being the cautionary tale they use to motivate their real daughter, not today. They don't deserve to know about NASA. They don't deserve to witness my triumph. They don't deserve to be part of the greatest moment of my life when they've spent decades making sure I knew I'd never have any great moments at all. So, I do something that surprises even me. I smile, not the bitter, resentful grimace I usually manage during these family celebrations, but a genuine, sweet smile that makes my mother blink in surprise. Congratulations, Jenny. That's really wonderful news. I'm so happy for you. The words taste like poison on my tongue, but the effect is immediate. My father's expression softens with what might actually be approval, probably the first time he's looked at me that way in years. See? He says, reaching over to pat my shoulder with the kind of patronizing affection usually reserved for well-behaved children. That's the right attitude, Alice. Be happy for your sister's success instead of feeling sorry for yourself. Jenny beams at me with that perfect smile, and for just a moment, I see something flicker behind her eyes. Surprise, maybe even a hint of suspicion, because Jenny knows me better than anyone, and she knows that genuine congratulations from me are about as rare as snow in July. But the moment passes, and she's back to basking in the parental adoration that's been her birthright since the day she was born. We should celebrate, my mother announces, clapping her hands together. Let's plan a dinner party for this weekend. I'll invite the Hendersons and the Martins. Everyone should hear about Jenny's wonderful news. As they launch into party planning mode, discussing guest lists and menu options like Jenny just won a Nobel Prize, I stand there holding the most incredible secret of my life. In 2 weeks, I'll be moving to Houston to work on spacecraft propulsion systems. In 2 weeks, I'll be part of humanity's next giant leap toward the stars. In 2 weeks, I'll be living a life so far beyond their imagination that they won't even have reference points to comprehend it. And they'll find out the same way everyone else does, when my name appears in the NASA press release announcing the new team members. I can already picture their faces when they realise that quiet, disappointing Alice is about to touch the stars, while their golden child Jenny is still stuck in the same small town, in the same small life they've always imagined for both of us. The thought sends a thrill through me that's both terrifying and intoxicating. This isn't just about proving them wrong anymore. This is about something much more delicious. This is about revenge. The next morning, I wake up before my alarm, and for a split second, I wonder if yesterday was all just an elaborate dream. But then, I see my phone on the nightstand, and the NASA email is still there. Still real. Still mine. The grin that spreads across my face is so wide it actually hurts my cheeks. I have exactly 13 days to pull off the most satisfying deception of my life. Downstairs, the kitchen is buzzing with Jenny's celebration plans. Mum has her laptop open, researching fancy appetizer recipes like she's catering a state dinner. Jenny is on the phone with her college roommate, rehashing every detail of her interview for what has to be the 100th time. And then, Mr. Morrison said I had exactly the kind of fresh perspective they were looking for. Jenny gushes into the phone, twirling a strand of her perfect hair around her finger. He practically offered me the job on the spot. I pour myself coffee and settle at the kitchen table, watching this performance with newfound fascination. It's like seeing a play you've watched 1,000 times, but suddenly you're noticing all the stagecraft behind the magic. Alice, honey, Mum says without looking up from her laptop, I'm making a list of people to invite to Jenny's party. Do you have any friends you'd like to include? The question hangs in the air like a challenge. We all know I don't have the kind of social circle that would impress the neighbours. While Jenny was homecoming queen and sorority president, I was the girl who spent Friday nights in the library studying aerospace engineering textbooks that I checked out under fake research projects. Actually, I say, taking a sip of my coffee, I think I might be busy that weekend. I have some work things to handle." Jenny finally looks up from her phone call, her perfectly shaped eyebrows raised in that way that always makes me feel like I've said something particularly stupid. "Work things?" she repeats, and there's something in her tone that makes me pause. "At the community centre." There it is, that subtle dismissal wrapped in fake concern. Jenny has perfected the art of making my job sound like volunteer work at a homeless shelter. Never mind that I've been designing educational programs that have actually won state recognition. Never mind that I've been secretly using my position to build connections with the local aerospace companies and university research departments. Yes, I say simply, and I can practically feel the family's collective eye roll. But here's what they don't know. Those work things include submitting my resignation letter, packing my entire life into boxes, and preparing to disappear from their small-minded world forever. The rest of the week passes in a blur of secret preparations. While Jenny picks out the perfect outfit for her celebration dinner, I'm on the phone with NASA's relocation department, arranging for movers and finding a temporary apartment in Houston. While Mum tests recipes for the party, I'm quietly closing bank accounts and updating my address with everyone who matters, which I'm realising doesn't include anyone in this house. The hardest part is maintaining the facade. Every morning, I leave for my dead-end internship at the community centre, and every evening I come home to listen to more party planning. Jenny has decided she wants a garden party theme, complete with string lights and a champagne fountain. Because apparently, getting hired for a $35, $000 a year marketing job deserves the same celebration as a royal wedding. "I'm thinking we should have a toast," Jenny announces on Thursday evening, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Something about new beginnings and following your dreams. What do you think, Alice? You're good with words. Maybe you could write something." The request catches me off guard, and for a moment, I almost laugh out loud. She wants me to write a toast celebrating her small victory while I'm sitting on the secret that will make her achievement look like winning a participation trophy at a church raffle. "Sure," I hear myself saying, "I'll write something beautiful." And I will. I'll write something so perfectly crafted, so elegantly worded, that it will make this moment even more delicious when they finally learn the truth. That night, I lock my bedroom door and start typing. Not the toast, that can wait. Instead, I write my resignation letter to the community centre, carefully crafting each word to sound professional and grateful while revealing absolutely nothing about my next move. "Dear Mr. Patterson," I begin, "I am writing to formally notify you of my resignation from my position as Programme Coordinator, effective June 30th. I have accepted a position with another organisation that will allow me to pursue new challenges in my field. Another organisation. If only they knew that another organisation is NASA. And new challenges means designing propulsion systems for the next generation of spacecraft." I print the letter and seal it in an envelope, my hand shaking slightly with anticipation. In less than a week, I'll walk into that office and hand over this letter, and it will be the first domino in a chain reaction that will completely upend everything my family thinks they know about me. But first, I have to survive Jenny's party. Friday morning brings a frenzy of preparation. Mum has transformed our backyard into something that looks like it belongs in a wedding magazine, complete with those string lights Jenny wanted and enough flowers to stock a funeral home. The champagne fountain sits in the centre of it all, like a monument to mediocrity. Jenny spends the entire day getting ready, cycling through 3 different outfits before settling on a sundress that probably costs more than most people's car payments. She's arranged for professional photos, because apparently this moment needs to be documented for posterity. I watch it all from my bedroom window, feeling like an anthropologist observing some bizarre cultural ritual. The neighbours start arriving around 6, each one bearing congratulations and small gifts as if Jenny has just announced her engagement to royalty. Mrs. Henderson brings flowers. The Martins bring wine. The Johnsons bring a gift bag that Jenny opens with theatrical enthusiasm, revealing a leather portfolio embossed with her initials. "For all your important documents," Mrs. Johnson says with a knowing smile, as if Jenny is about to be handling state secrets instead of marketing brochures for a local firm. I put on a simple black dress, the same one I wore to my NASA interview, actually, and head downstairs to join the celebration. The irony isn't lost on me that I'm wearing the outfit that helped me land the job of my dreams to a party celebrating my sister's much smaller achievement. The backyard is full of familiar faces, all of them beaming at Jenny like she's just solved world hunger. My parents are in their element, playing the role of proud parents to absolute perfection. Dad keeps mentioning Jenny's bright future and unlimited potential, while Mum makes sure everyone knows about the competitive selection process and how Jenny beat out dozens of other candidates. And then there's me, standing at the edge of it all with a glass of champagne that tastes like liquid gold, because I know something they don't. I know that in exactly 8 days, their golden child moment of glory is going to be completely overshadowed by a revelation so shocking it will rewrite the entire family narrative. Jenny finds me by the garden gate, her cheeks flushed from champagne and attention. "Alice," she says, and there's something different in her voice, something I can't quite place. "I wanted to thank you for being so supportive about all this. I know it can't be easy." I tilt my head, studying her face in the soft glow of the string lights. "What do you mean?" "You know." She gestures vaguely toward the party, watching me get the job, the celebration, all of it. "I know you've been struggling to find your direction, and I just want you to know that your time will come too. Your time will come too." The condescension in those words hits me like a physical blow, but instead of anger, I feel something else entirely. Pure, crystalline clarity. This is exactly why I'm doing this. This is exactly why they don't deserve to know about NASA until it's too late for them to claim any part of my triumph. I smile at Jenny, and this time, it's not fake at all. "You're right," I say, raising my champagne glass. "My time will come, and when it does, it's going to be absolutely unforgettable." The party winds down around midnight, but I'm wide awake, standing at my bedroom window, watching the last guests stumble to their cars. Jenny's laughter echoes across the yard as she hugs Mrs. Henderson goodbye, promising to send updates about her exciting new career journey. If only they knew that in exactly 7 days, their definition of exciting career journey is about to be completely redefined. Monday morning arrives with a cruel irony. Jenny leaves for her first day at Morrison & Associates with all the fanfare of a royal departure. Mum takes pictures of her walking to her car. Dad gives her a pep talk about making a good first impression, and I wave from the front porch like the supportive sister I'm pretending to be. "Make us proud, sweetheart," Mum calls out as Jenny drives away. 20 minutes later, I'm walking into the community centre, with my resignation letter burning a hole in my bag. Mr. Patterson's office smells like coffee and disappointment, and he looks genuinely shocked when I hand him the envelope. "Alice, I have to say, this is completely unexpected," he says, scanning the letter with wide eyes. "You've been such a valuable part of our team. Are you sure you've thought this through?" "Very sure," I reply, and there's something in my voice that makes him look up sharply. Maybe it's confidence he's never heard from me before, or maybe it's the slight smile I can't quite suppress. "Well, I wish you all the best," he says finally. "Whatever opportunity you're pursuing, they're lucky to have you." If only he knew just how lucky NASA considers themselves to be. The rest of the week unfolds like a carefully choreographed dance, while Jenny comes home each evening bubbling with stories about office politics and team meetings. I'm quietly dismantling my entire existence in this town. I donate clothes I'll never need again, sell furniture that won't fit in my new life, and pack the essentials into boxes labelled books and personal items, though half of them contain advanced physics textbooks and aerospace engineering journals that would make my family's head spin. Wednesday brings an unexpected complication. Jenny bounces into the kitchen that evening with an announcement that makes my blood run cold. "Guess what?" she says, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "I convinced Mr. Morrison to let me write a feature article about local success stories for their company newsletter. And I want to interview you, Ali." The spoonful of soup I'm holding freezes halfway to my mouth. "Me? Yes. I know it might seem weird, but I was thinking about what you said at the party, about your time coming and all that. And I realise I've been so focused on my own stuff that I haven't really asked what you're planning for your future. She settles into the chair across from me, pulling out her phone to record our conversation. So, tell me, what are your career goals? What's your 5-year plan? I want to show everyone that the Patterson sisters are both going places. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. Here she is, wanting to interview me about my future plans while I'm literally moving to NASA in 4 days. The perfect opportunity to confess everything is sitting right in front of me, gift-wrapped in sisterly bonding. But that would ruin everything. You know what, Jenny? I say, setting down my spoon and looking directly into her phone camera. I think some dreams are worth keeping secret until they come true. There's something magical about working toward a goal that no one else knows about. She frowns, clearly not getting the answer she was hoping for. But surely you can give me something. Come on, Alice. This is for Morrison and Associates. It could really help both of our reputations. How about this? I say, and I can feel that dangerous smile tugging at my lips again. Check back with me in about a week. I have a feeling I'll have some very interesting news to share by then. Jenny stares at me for a long moment, and I can see the wheels turning in her head. She knows something is different about me, but she can't quite put her finger on what. Okay, she says finally, turning off her phone. But you're being really weird about this, Alice. It's not like you to be so mysterious. That night, I lie in bed staring at the ceiling, counting down the hours. 72 more hours in this house. 72 more hours of pretending to be the family disappointment. 72 more hours until I disappear from their lives and reappear as someone they never imagined I could become. Thursday is my last day of normal. I spend it tying up loose ends, returning library books, and having one final coffee with Mrs. Chen from the community centre, the only person who ever seemed to believe I was capable of more than this small town life. You know, Alice, she says as we sit in the little cafe downtown, I always sensed you were meant for bigger things. There was something in your eyes during those aerospace education programs you developed, like you were seeing possibilities the rest of us couldn't even imagine. If only she knew how right she was. That evening, Jenny comes home with a story that almost makes me choke on my dinner. You'll never believe what happened today, she says, practically vibrating with excitement. Mr. Morrison introduced me to this woman from the university, Dr. Sarah Chen. She's in the Aerospace Engineering department. Apparently they're looking for someone to help with their public outreach programs, and he thought I might be interested. My fork clatters against my plate. Dr. Chen was one of my references for NASA, the woman who wrote me a recommendation letter calling me one of the most promising young engineers she'd encountered in her 30-year career. That's interesting, I managed to say. I know, right? I mean, I don't know anything about aerospace stuff, but Mr. Morrison thinks my marketing background could be really valuable for making complex topics accessible to the general public. Jenny takes a huge bite of mashed potatoes, completely oblivious to the cosmic joke unfolding before her. Dr. Chen even mentioned that they've been having trouble finding qualified candidates for some of their advanced positions. She said the field is so competitive that even brilliant students sometimes don't make the cut. I excuse myself to the bathroom and splash cold water on my face, staring at my reflection in the mirror. The universe has a twisted sense of humour. Here's Jenny, potentially about to stumble into the aerospace world just as I'm about to conquer it. And she has no idea that her struggling sister is about to become exactly the kind of qualified candidate Dr. Chen was talking about. Friday morning, my last morning in this house, arrives with a thunderstorm that feels appropriately dramatic. I wake up at 5 a.m, not because of my alarm, but because my body knows something momentous is about to happen. My boxes are stacked in the garage, labelled and ready for the movers who will arrive Monday, after I'm already gone. My official story is that I'm taking a weekend trip to visit a college friend, which isn't technically a lie since I am leaving town. I just forgot to mention that I'm never coming back. The family breakfast is surreal. Mum makes pancakes my favourite, though she doesn't remember that, and Dad reads the newspaper aloud, commenting on local politics. Like any of it will matter to me 24 hours from now. Jenny is already dressed for work, checking her phone for messages from her new colleagues. I might be late tonight, she announces. Dr. Chen invited me to attend a faculty meeting about the outreach program. She wants me to observe how they discuss technical projects. That's wonderful, honey, Mum says, beaming with pride. See, Alice? Look how quickly Jenny is advancing. She's only been there a week, and they're already including her in important meetings. I nod and smile, cutting my pancakes into precise geometric shapes. In about 6 hours, I'll be on a plane to Houston. In about 8 hours, Jenny will be sitting in a faculty meeting, possibly in the same room where Dr. Chen wrote my NASA recommendation letter. The thought is so deliciously ironic that I almost start laughing. Alice, you're being quiet again, Dad observes. Everything okay? I look around the breakfast table at these 3 people who think they know me so well, who have spent my entire life underestimating what I'm capable of, who are about to discover that they don't know me at all. Everything's perfect, Dad, I say, and for the first time in 26 years, I mean it completely. In fact, I think everything is about to be more perfect than any of us can imagine. As I head upstairs to grab my suitcase, I hear Jenny on the phone with someone from Morrison & Associates, discussing her aerospace outreach opportunity with the kind of enthusiasm she usually reserves for shopping trips. 3 hours until my flight. 3 hours until the final phase of the most beautiful revenge story ever written begins. And the best part? They still have absolutely no idea what's coming. The Uber driver keeps glancing at me in the rearview mirror as we head to the airport. I must look like someone who's either about to commit a crime or win the lottery, which, in a way, I suppose I am. My phone buzzes with a text from Mum. Have fun with Sarah this weekend? Don't forget to call when you get there safely. Sarah, my fictional college friend whose visit is covering for my permanent disappearance. I almost feel guilty about the lie, but then I remember 26 years of being treated like the family's consolation prize, and the guilt evaporates. The flight to Houston feels surreal. As we taxi down the runway, I'm literally leaving my old life behind, and no one even knows I'm gone. I spend the 3-hour flight staring out the window, thinking about how different the world looks from 35,000 feet. Everything that seemed so important this morning, Jenny's new job, the family dynamics, even my own hurt feelings, all of it looks tiny and insignificant from up here, just like it's about to become. I land in Houston at 8 p.m, and by 9 p.m, I'm in my temporary apartment, surrounded by boxes and the intoxicating reality that I actually did it. I actually escaped. Tomorrow morning, I start orientation at NASA, and tonight is the last night I'll ever be disappointing Alice to anyone. But I'm not ready for them to know yet. The timing has to be perfect. Monday morning, I'm walking through the corridors of NASA's Johnson Space Center, wearing my official badge and trying not to hyperventilate from the sheer impossibility of it all. The orientation is mind-blowing. Presentations about current missions, tours of the facilities, meetings with team leaders who speak about spacecraft propulsion systems, like other people discuss the weather. But the most beautiful part? The moment when Dr. Rodriguez, the department head, pulls me aside after lunch. Alice, I have to tell you, your interview performance was exceptional. But what really sealed the deal was Dr. Sarah Chen's recommendation letter. She called you the most promising young engineer she's encountered in 30 years. High praise from someone of her caliber, Dr. Chen. The same Dr. Chen who's now working with Jenny on aerospace outreach programs. The same Dr. Chen who has no idea that the brilliant student she recommended to NASA is the sister of her new marketing coordinator. The irony is so perfect it takes my breath away. That evening, safely tucked away in my Houston apartment, I craft the most important social media post of my life. A single photo of me standing in front of the NASA logo, wearing my official badge with a caption that will detonate like a nuclear bomb in my family's carefully constructed reality. Sometimes, the best dreams are the ones you keep secret until they come true. Proud to announce that I've accepted a position as an aerospace engineer with NASA's propulsion systems team. The quiet girl everyone overlooked is finally reaching for the stars. Houston, here I stay. #NASA, dreams come true, #never give up. So, but I don't post it yet. The timing has to be absolutely perfect. Tuesday passes in a blur of technical briefings and team meetings. Wednesday brings my first assignment, contributing to the design specifications for the next generation of Mars exploration vehicles. By Thursday, I'm fully integrated into the team, and my colleagues are already treating me like I belong here, like I've always belonged here. Thursday evening, my phone explodes. It starts with a missed call from Mum, then Dad, then Jenny, then Mum again. Within 10 minutes, I have 17 missed calls and 23 text messages, all increasingly frantic. I don't answer any of them. Instead, I pour myself a glass of wine and settle onto my couch to watch the chaos unfold in real time. Because here's what happened. Dr. Chen, in her enthusiasm about the outreach program, mentioned to Jenny during their meeting that she'd recently written a recommendation letter for one of the most brilliant students I've ever taught, Alice Patterson from your hometown. Jenny, confused, had said, "Alice Patterson? That's my sister, but she works at a community centre." Dr. Chen, equally confused, had pulled up my NASA personnel file on her computer. No, this Alice Patterson just started working for NASA's Aerospace Engineering division. In fact, she's part of the team designing propulsion systems for Mars exploration. The silence in that meeting room must have been deafening. Jenny had immediately called Mum in a panic. Mum had called Dad. Dad had called my old job at the community centre, only to discover I'd resigned a week ago. They'd rushed to my bedroom to find it completely empty. Closet cleaned out, personal items gone, boxes of books mysteriously vanished. And that's when Jenny had done what any social media obsessed millennial would do. She'd searched my name online. That's when she found the NASA press release. NASA welcomes new team members to Mars exploration program, with my name listed third, complete with my credentials, and a quote about being excited to contribute to humanity's next giant leap, published 3 days ago, while they were still basking in the afterglow of her marketing coordinator celebration. My phone rings again. This time, it's Jenny, and something in me decides to answer. "Alice?" Her voice is shaking. "Alice, where are you? What the hell is going on?" "Hi, Jenny," I say calmly, taking a sip of my wine. "How was your meeting with Dr. Chen?" Don't you dare act casual right now. "NASA, Alice? NASA? You work for NASA and you didn't tell us?" "I work for NASA and you didn't ask," I correct her. There's a difference. I can hear her breathing heavily on the other end of the line. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. When did this happen? How long have you been lying to us? "I haven't been lying," I say, and I'm surprised by how calm my voice sounds. "I just stopped sharing. There's a difference between lying and simply not volunteering information that wouldn't be appreciated anyway." "Wouldn't be appreciated," Jenny's voice cracks. "Alice, this is NASA. This is incredible. This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to our family." And there it is, the moment I've been waiting for. "No, Jenny," I say softly. "This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. And after watching you all celebrate your marketing coordinator position like you'd won a Nobel Prize, I realised you didn't deserve to be part of it." The silence stretches between us like a chasm. "Alice," she whispers finally, I know we could have been more supportive, but nothing," I interrupt. "For 26 years, I was the daughter you barely noticed, unless it was to use me as a cautionary tale. For 26 years, I was the sister who needed to learn from your example. For 26 years, you made it very clear that I was never going to amount to anything worth celebrating." I can hear her crying now, and part of me, a very small part, almost feels sorry for her. "So, here's what's going to happen," I continue. "You're going to go back to your lovely little marketing job, and I'm going to design spacecraft that will carry humans to Mars. You're going to stay in that small town with your small dreams, and I'm going to literally reach for the stars. And every time someone asks about the Patterson sisters, they're going to mention NASA first and Morrison and Associates as an afterthought." "Alice, please," she sobs. "We're family. We can fix this. Family." I laugh, and it sounds cold even to my own ears. Jenny, family celebrates each other's successes, no matter how small. Family believes in each other. Family doesn't spend decades making one child feel invisible while worshipping the other. I pause, looking out my window at the Houston skyline, at the lights of a city that represents everything I've ever wanted. But here's the really beautiful part, Jenny. I need to thank you, all of you, because your complete inability to see my worth, your endless comparisons, your total dismissal of my potential, it all forged me into someone strong enough to reach the impossible. Someone who could sit in a NASA interview and convince them I belonged among the brightest minds in the world. I take another sip of wine, savouring this moment. So, thank you, sister dear, for teaching me the most valuable lesson of all. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. Sometimes the best revenge is simply becoming everything they never believed you could be. I hang up the phone and turn it off completely. Tomorrow, I'll deal with the fallout. Tomorrow, I'll figure out how to rebuild relationships, or whether I even want to. Tomorrow, I'll decide if the girl who reached for the stars can find room in her orbit for the people who never believed she could fly. But tonight, I'm going to sit in my Houston apartment, surrounded by NASA technical manuals and Mars mission briefings, and toast to the most beautiful revenge story ever written. Because quiet, overlooked, Alice didn't just get her moment. She got her entire universe.